Hey gang, it's JC and this is the Daily Dose for Friday, April 22nd, 2011, a combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. Some great old television history at the top of the page there, and of course eye candy along the bottom, and we invite you to listen to us, and when I say us, I mean me and Trish Gazelle, every weekday from 10 in the morning until 1 on the Big 550 KTRS. Congratulations to Kyle Loesch, who threw, and I think Doug Vaughn said this on Channel 4's Early Sports yesterday, that, Kyle Loesch threw the game of his career yesterday, a two-hitter, and this is one of those stories that I think really could be the biggest story of the year, possibly, for your St. Louis Cardinals, because here's a guy that a lot of people gave up on. They just thought he stunk or couldn't pitch anymore. The guy was hurt, and now he's healthy, and he's pitching like the Kyle Loesch that we thought we were getting a couple of years ago, and that actually performed very, very well. He won 15 games for us a couple of seasons ago. The guy has just been struggling, and really, hats off to this guy. I mean, this is a spectacular performance yesterday, and now we wait for the beloved Cincinnati Reds to arrive in town, and it just looks like it's going to be another crap weekend as far as the weather is concerned. It looks like they might not have too much difficulty getting Saturday's game in, but it's going to be a problem tonight. And again on Sunday, they're talking about severe storms again. I don't know what's going on. I don't like the weather. I'm leaving. All right. Yesterday, Time Magazine comes out with their annual list of the world's most influential people. And some of the names, obviously you can sort of see coming, Oprah and Hillary Clinton and Mark Zuckerberg, of course, people like that. The CEO of Netflix, Reed Hastings. But like the second name on the list is Amy Poehler from Parks and Recreation, formerly of Saturday Night Live. Time Magazine's most influential people, Amy Poehler. I love Amy Poehler, by the way. I adore her. I think she's one of the funniest people on earth. But one of the most influential people? Who else here? Julian Assange for WikiLeaks, that I understand. Colin Firth, most influential, good actor, Academy Award winner. Gabrielle Giffords, who was shot in Tucson, one of the most influential people. Michelle Obama, okay, maybe. The creator of Mad Men, Matthew Weiner, really? Justin Bieber, Prince William and Kate Middleton, Mark Wahlberg, Sting, Ariana Huffington, okay, maybe. Speaker of the House, John Boehner, sure. President. Another day, another preliminary hearing for Lindsay Lohan. They're trying to knock down the appraised value of the necklace that they said that she stole. And they're basically saying, it's not $2,500, it's maybe $850. Why is that key to the whole case? Well, because now it comes down to a misdemeanor as opposed to a felony, and maybe the punishment isn't as severe. American Idol sends home another dude. Stefano should have been gone 6 weeks ago, was still there. Jacob and Haley in the bottom three. The women, generally it is women, who they're very, very upset about the cancellation of the soap operas on ABC, and they are playing hardball. They're not fooling around. They're going directly to advertisers like Hershey and L'Oreal and Excedrin and people like that, and they're basically saying, we want you to pull all your advertising from the entire network until they bring these soap operas back. Man, I'm telling you, don't piss off these old ladies who have nothing better to do and have figured out how to use the internet. Glee has fired an extra by the name of Nicole Crowther for tweeting spoilers about the show. Specifically, she leaked the identities of the prom king and queen. Get out of here. Jim Carrey has been added to the list of people who will appear on the hour-long finale of The Office on May 19th. Ricky Gervais, Will Arnett, Ray Romano, James Spader also in that episode. And if you saw last night's episode of 30 Rock, the show is almost not even funny anymore. It's more just like you're sitting there going, because and I probably didn't say that the right way. Of course the show's funny, but I find myself, more than laughing, I find myself just astonished at what flies by. And I had an hour episode last night, and I just was with my mouth open most of the episode. The show is unbelievable. It is just so full of surprises and tricks. You never know what might pop up on that show. Tom Hanks humming the theme from My Life, which was the theme they used on Bosom Buddies. Come on. I mean, the show is unbelievable. Tina Fey should have been on that list of the most influential people. How does Amy Poehler get on, but Tina Fey doesn't? I'm still mad about that. Terry Hatcher, suffering from something called frozen shoulder, which keeps her from fully using her left arm. Make up your own jokes. I guess she can't fasten her own bra, but then again, it is Hollywood. Bad news for Purell junkies. I've been saying this for years. I have suspected all along that that the stuff that you rub on your hands is supposed to kill all the germs on your hands doesn't work, or maybe doesn't work as well as they lead you to believe. There is a prominent St. Louis sportscaster. I won't say his name. I don't want to embarrass him because I like the guy. But he does commercials for one of these things, these solutions that you rub on your hands. And when you listen to the commercial very closely, you're like, wait a minute, what? And it says this particular substance, the stuff that you can buy, kills 99.9%, and you're hearing 99.9%, but then the next line is 99.9% of most things out there that cause bacteria. So there's 0.1% of like E. coli and stuff out there that slips through the cracks, salmonella, H1N1 staph infections, even the flu, and the FDA says that Purell is not sanitizing your hands of those substances. They say that washing your hands with warm water and soap is still the best thing that you can do. All right, birthdays this weekend today includes Peter Frampton, who is 61. This is a guy who got a raw deal. This guy was the most popular person on earth for at least a couple of years back in the 70s. And then the poor guy just couldn't get arrested. I am still at a loss to understand why people turned on Peter Frampton, because, you know, years later, after the whole Frampton Comes Alive thing, he was making really good music and nobody knew because nobody cared. And I always thought that the guy was going to make a comeback somehow, and outside of the Geico commercials, is that what it was? Geico was one of those commercials where he was just sitting with somebody doing the well, now I'm thinking about it and now I'm laughing. He was in some commercials a couple of years ago. Rock legend, Peter Frampton, 61, and a very nice guy. I accidentally stumbled into his dressing room. I was trying to find his dressing room, but I couldn't find it. This was back in Washington, D.C., back in 1983, I believe it was. And I'm just like trying doors, and all of a sudden I opened up a door, and there he was sitting in a pair of boxer shorts, and he had a scar that went like from here, traversed his chest, went all the way down his leg. It must have been, you know, 350 stitches to close that up. It was from that car accident. And then he got messed up in one of the early palimony cases. I think her name is Penny McCall. Was that right? He got soaked on that whole thing too. Now his hair's falling out. I don't know. I just think that Peter Frampton deserved a better fate. Now you can say, well, for God's sakes, he sold, you know, 11 or 20 million or however many it was. If Frampton Comes Alive, he's probably still got a lot of the money from that. You know how rock stars saved money? Not very well. All right, it was on this date back in 1976 that Harry Reasoner, who was sitting there doing the ABC Evening News, just having a nice old time, and they brought in Barbara Walters, and Harry only lasted a couple of more years. He just hated Barbara Walters. Those two got along together like two strange cats. But it was the first network TV anchor woman on one of the evening newscasts back in 76. Barbara's still kicking it today. It was on this date in 78 that John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd first appeared as the Blues Brothers on Saturday Night Live. People are still dressing up like those guys today. All right, so what do we got here? My clock froze, so I don't know how deep I am into today's Daily Dose, so I accidentally bumped it, so for running short or over, my apologies. All right, well, as most of you know, I'm not a religious person, but back in the day when we were all being indoctrinated, I was like anybody else. You know, you put on your toga and you went to confirmation and First Communion and all that sort of stuff, and you did your Easter duty and everything like that. So I have graced you with a picture from the mid-1960s. There I am. You can look at that. You can look at that at eye candy. You get a better look right there. But that's me from, I was probably about 65. Or something like that. I still carry around this picture. I don't know why, but I still have it. And for those of you celebrating this weekend, go nuts. I mean, I know this is your Super Bowl, so have a great time. And don't worry about me. I'm fine, okay? I don't need to be converted. I know some of you try from time to time, and you think that I would be better off with religion, and I know that I'm better off without it, and let's just leave it at that. As I said on the air the other day, I didn't go into the military either, and I did everything I could not to get drafted, and I'm proud of that because I would have made a rotten soldier. And why do that to the United States military? Can you see me You know, can you see? No, of course you can't. So I did him a favor by staying out of the military, and I salute the guys and the gals who did it and still do it. And, you know, but it's just like some people who go into the military come out of high school and they say, college just isn't for me. I'm going into the military. Okay, well, if that's okay to say that, then it's okay also to say that I'm coming out of high school and I don't think the military is okay for me. How did I get out of the military? And I was talking about Easter. I don't know. It's just what happens, you know. So you know what? I'm going to go now. That's it. The Daily Dose for Friday, April 22nd, 2011. A combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. I wish it would stop raining so I could actually throw this ball outside. In the meantime, we've beaten this one to death. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.